Colleagues, good morning.
Good morning.
Good morning.
Good morning, Chair. Good morning.
A very good morning.
I'm not very sure
Sunday
whether
now.
my volume is
Good morning, Chair,
muted.
and everyone on the platform.
Good morning. Yes.
Bulisa sonke che namasempheki bonke.
Oh, thank you so much. Thank you so much, Navisit. I want us to start our meeting, colleagues. Thank you very much for coming. Let me just check. Yeah, I'm just a bit exhausted or tired. I've just landed this morning back in the country, so I'm still a bit hazy and tired. Okay, so colleagues, a very good morning once more, and you're welcome to this meeting this morning, where we're going to look at our own report, the budget report here. So, Albertina, if you could just show us the agenda. Thank you. Okay, so we're going to look at the consideration and the adoption of the draft budget vote 29 report, and then look at the minutes. I think it's how many sets do we have? I think we have about 3 or 4 sets. We'll look at them. We will start with the consideration of the budget report. But before we go there, I want us to go to the apologies and see if we have any apologies from honorable members. Albertina.
Morning, Chair. Thank you. Morning, members and colleagues. No, Chair, we didn't receive any apology at the moment. Thanks.
Chairperson, sorry, it's Ethel Trollope here. Can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you, Honorable Trollope.
Chair, I think Albertina's forgotten. I did submit an apology to her. I'm on the call now, and I'll stay here as long as possible. But there is a mini plenary on justice and constitutional development starting at 10.
Yes.
And I'm participating therein, so I will have to excuse myself and come back as soon as we're done.
Okay, no, that's fine. That's okay.
Thank you.
Okay. Thank you very much, and all the best with that debate on the budget vote. Okay, so we do not have any more apologies, and I take that we accept the apology from Honorable Trollope. Who is assisting us? Knox, help me out here.
Good morning, Chair, and good morning, members and colleagues.
Good morning.
I will share the draft, Chair.
Okay.
Is it visible, Chair?
It is not.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I was muted. I didn't see. I was responding, and I realized that you're not responding. So I saw that I'm muted.
Okay, Chair.
We can see the topic and the introduction part.
All right.
Yes.
Chair, I would like guidance from you. How do we go about the report?
Because we all participated in the report and I went through it, I'm not very sure if members did manage to get a chance. I went through it at night when I was flying back, and I think that my proposal would be that we go to the observations, and if there are any things that members would like to add there, they would come in and add. So and then we will then go to the recommendations. But colleagues, you can come in and assist and propose how you want us to handle the report. Honorable Trollip.
Thank you, Chair. I'll just have two areas that I think we need to clarify. First is 2.2.1. There are a number of bullets there, and in the last bullet, it makes reference to varieties submitted for approval. That's not clear to me what that actually means, and I think we need to clarify that. And then the other point that I wanted to make was on 5.2, where we make reference to the MTDB, but I believe that we should also be making reference to the National Development Plan. So we must just add in NDP. That's 5.2, not 2.5, 5.2.
That's 5.2. The first one was 2.1. 2.1, yes. Yeah, so, yeah, and then the other one is 5.2.
I don't know what varieties we're talking about there, Chair, and then the last one.
Yes, can you go to the 2.1 first?
Yes, Chair, 2.21. It's interventions that the department have come up with to achieve the strategic priorities for the 5-year term. So it's more operational and activities that they have planned to embark on, but they haven't really presented progress on how this, but I think some of them are operational issues, like the last bullet that Mr. Trollip is inquiring about. I think this one is about cultivars, when there are new cultivars that the industry or the ARC, for example, is submitting to the department for registration. For commercialization. I think in terms of their operation, they are trying to fast track the process. If before it took a year for permission to be granted for commercialization, so the intention now is for it to be fast tracked to the following season.
Chairperson, can I just suggest that whatever it is, that it gets written properly and in an understandable format. To just have a bullet that says varieties that were submitted for approval must be granted permission for commercialization in the following season. I think we must just give an explanation that Noxie's given us now.
Yes.
So it must be maybe new varieties or emerging varieties, whatever. It just must be written better so that it's understandable.
Yeah. I think you can also, in brackets, notes, make an examples, the example that one or two examples that you were making, to clarify which varieties you're talking about. And then we can go to 5.2.
Thank you, Chairperson.
Thank you very much, Honorable Trolley. Colleagues, I'll see by show of hand if there's something that.
I'll take it. I will go to the observations.
Yeah, go to 5.2.
I've already made the amendment to include the NDP.
Oh, yes. Okay. All right. So you can go to the observations, please.
Okay, I'm waiting for inputs.
Jeez, I am
Oh,
muted.
it was so quiet. I was wondering what's
No,
going
I'm muted. I'm talking. I'm like, okay, go up a bit, so that we can see the other bullets. Colleagues, you will indicate when you want to come in. Okay, let's pass from the fit for purpose structure and we go to the appointments of the boards, which is a positive that's going to improve governance in those entities. Continue, Knox. Just wait there on 415. Let me see. Okay, go ahead. You know, we keep on talking about this specific target, the specific targets in the APP, which monitors, I mean, in relation to the money that the funds that are transferred to the provinces. We must try and find a way, I think, where the department can improve. I'm not very sure what, but we definitely need to find a way.
I think, Chair, we need to put that there's no measurable targets to the grants that we are giving to the provinces.
Yeah, because we keep on reminding them. Knox, would you like to put it there? Okay. All right, continue. Go down or go up. Oh no, you have it here. You have it here on 417. The absence of the measurable targets.
1.1.6 Chair, is about monitoring
Oh, that's monitoring
the
control.
funds that are
Okay.
transferred. And then
Oh.
4.17 is about the actual targets on how the grants are going to be implemented. That's CASP and LandCare.
Okay. All right. Continue then. Okay, continue. Colleagues, this is the last point before we go to the observations on the public entities. Go ahead, Knox. Let's go to the entities, the observations of the entities. Okay, we're starting with the ARC, Agricultural Research Council. Okay, continue. Here we want to see the finance or treasury assisting in the finances to build the FMD facility, vaccine facility. Continue. Let's go to OBP. OBP, I have a challenge. The challenge I had with them is the fact that the freeze dryers and the appointment of the specialist advisor. Last year, they promised that it was going to happen in September last year, and that by this year, the freeze dryers would have been fitted. And now the target is changing. Now it's no longer 2025, it's September 26, and they like the September because even in the one that they gave us last year, it was September 2025.
Yeah, and then also the instability in the management. The concern of in terms of the vacancies of the top positions.
Yeah, we must remind
And then
them.
also the impact on productions, due to the delays of vaccine availability. I don't know how we're going to say that.
Repeat that again.
I say the impact that it have on production,
Oh, okay. No,
delays of vaccine availability.
okay, no, I hear you. Oh. Let's see, Knox. Here, the board and the minister will have to assist us in terms of the senior positions. Okay, continue.
Chair,
yes, we can come in. You can come in.
Thanks, Chair. I'm very pleased you picked up that matter about the deadline shifting with the freeze dryers, because we do continuously run out of vaccines. The vaccine that's on everyone's lips is foot and mouth disease, but you will recall that almost every year I raise the fact that we run out of certain vaccines, and that is an issue. Because if you don't vaccinate animals at the right time when these diseases come around, the economic consequences are massive. So if they keep extending the deadline for the Telstar and GEA vaccine production, we're going to find ourselves in trouble. And then, Chair, there's nowhere in this report that talks about the submission and tabling of the investigative report into the disappearance of the funds that were allocated for the good manufacturing practice facility.
Yeah.
Now, the minister has made numerous commitments to deal with this matter. Those commitments have all gone off the radar. Nobody talks about it anymore, except us. And we must find a place to put it in our report that we want the minister to table the investigative report on the disappearance of the R500 million that was budgeted for the good manufacturing production facility that has compromised our ability to provide and produce our own foot and mouth diseases vaccine.
Okay. Yeah, I agree with you, especially because you would recall, colleagues, that several times, I think from 2024 when we came in, we have been requesting that there should be those officials. I think we discussed to great length that we want to see where the money went and who is responsible, what happened to them, consequence management. And they said others have left, and we said this doesn't mean that you can't follow them, because you may find that they're in other departments or other entities. So yeah, I support that we bring it so that if we don't, there are people who are going to continue to do it because there's no consequences. Okay. Outstanding investigative report on the utilization of approximately 500 million that was allocated for the modernization of the vaccine manufacturing plant. Yeah. Okay, we're now going to NAMC. NAMC, I think they have 2 points.
Jacques, I need your help here.
Okay, Mr. Trolley, please mute.
Sorry,
It's
Chair.
okay. It's okay.
Member Aris here. I
Oh.
think that
Yes, Honorable Aris, go ahead.
yes, I think we need to put in there, the constraints of funding and how it affects staff retention.
On NAMC.
That's on NMIC, yeah.
Yeah, I think it also is covered in the fact that the minister has now, approved the resource mobilization strategy, because that would definitely help them. Remember, we have tried to I don't know what is the right word to use, to request the DG or the department to indicate whether is there any way that there could be more allocation of funds to the NMC, and we even spoke about whether they can take the one that does training in the department and give it the training to NMC, because they seem to be doing well when it comes to that, but they have limited funding. So I think that is covered down here on the second item, but not sure Noxy, if there's anything that you think, whether you think we can add that which, if it's not properly covered here, that which Honorable Aris is raising.
The impact of the funding constraint on staff retention and recruitment is included on 4.2.7.
Yeah. Okay.
Miss David's hand was up.
Yes.
I
Now I
don't know.
see here.
Okay.
I wanted us to finish with Ms. Aris first. Honorable David.
Morning, Chair, and morning to everyone on the platform. Chair, I just want a point of clarity on NAMC. We've spoken about the transformation and how it cannot be measured with them. It's only measured in their reports. So I don't know if it's still going to be on there or where are we going to put it, Chair? The transformation agenda in the NAMC.
Notes, I think we have, just scroll down, I think we have the 2 items only, and the observations only is on the NMC. What is your take, Noxy? And honorable members, you can come in also.
Chair, on this one, I
On the
would
transformation.
like assistance from the members,
Yeah.
given the mandate, the legislated mandate of the NAMC, which is advisory and statutory measures and regulations. So the transformation agenda in terms of assisting smallholder producers with market access, it's an additional function that is not funded, because I remember members, at least not from the vote, members querying the low numbers. As much as the NAMC has the capacity to do the work and in terms of linking farmers with markets, ensuring that they get access and are actually doing much better than the department in that regard, in my opinion, but they do not have enough funds for that. They have indicated to that effect. Maybe that's what the committee can recommend for as part of additional funding for the NAMC.
Okay.
So in that sense, the actual annual target is the number of smallholder farmers that they link to markets. And they also have, I would call it a service level agreement for lack of a better word, with the PPECB. The PPECB will train farmers for export market, all the sanitary and phytosanitary requirements that are required to access export markets. The PPCB will do that training, and that's mainly for perishable products meant for exports. And then it will then refer those trainees to the NAMC to link them with markets, which is part of the research work that the NAMC is mandated to do as part of its advisory services to the minister. I'm not sure if this makes sense.
Yeah, it does make sense to me. I just want to, I think we must convince Honorable David, because we have discussed about it, yes, with the NMC and the department. And the CEO of NMC has, I think, was at pains even in the last meeting that we've had with them when we're discussing the APPs and the budget allocation. That they are struggling financially, and they would love, and I think they were pushed a bit far about the numbers that they are training and the numbers that they are assisting of the smallholder. I think at some point I came in and I tried to indicate that the challenge that they have is the funding, and I believe that if they had more funding, they would do even much better, because they seem to be working very hard, but they have limited access to resources. So, Honorable David, if we could allow us to leave that part now, I'm sure you can raise it probably in the next meetings and in debates. Would you like to comment, Honorable David?
No, thank you, Chair. I can still recall the answer that was given, but my issue is just, Chair, that this is a draft. I will love to say what Knox have just saying there now, that we can recommend that to the department, but it's fine, Chair. We can have that discussion in another meeting with the department. Thank you, Chair.
No, see, were you seeing a different way that we can recommend to the department? I mean, to the NMC.
No, Chair, I don't think there is a recommendation to that effect.
Okay.
So I was saying, because also one of the challenges, because of the funding constraints,
Yes.
the NAMC also has a high vacancy rate. So that means also even the existing personnel is far stretched. So they can't even take more than they currently train for access. The number of farmers they can't have, though, because they also don't have enough warm body as an entity to carry out the work.
Okay.
And most of the challenges stem from limited funding. So my suggestion was that can be form part of the recommendation, and the committee stressing that the transformation to assist the NAMC in carrying out its transformation agenda.
Okay. No, that's fine. We can go to the Perishable Products Export Control Board now. Colleagues, would you like to come in on the PPECB? We have that observation that we've made, the outstanding matter regarding certain services that are rendered by the PPECB within the port area under the Agricultural Products Standard Act, that may be transferred to the Border Management Authority and the impact on specialized cold chain services. And the fact that the PPECB is funded through levies. I think we can pass the Knox and go to the South African Veterinary Council. Okay. The challenge here is the shortage of the veterinarians and the paraveterinary professionals. At least we have raised it, and
Yes.
we spoke to them. I think we had an idea that there are many other universities, or a few other universities that are listed. Want them to push, and you remember, colleagues, we agreed that we may want to meet with the portfolio committee on on education so that they can help us in those.
Yes, I remember we did spoke about that, and specifically the entry requirements into that studies.
Yes. So I think it's good that we have brought it back here. The shortage is too much.
Yeah.
We have 60 to 70 vets for a million citizens when the standard internationally is supposed to be 200 to 400. And we do produce, but they leave. So, and we have asked the question as to whether have they done a study that will tell us as to what are the causal issues for these professionals to leave. We were told that they earn properly, and so we still need to push them to do the research study as to what is happening around there. But we'll have to take it, parallel with the discussions with the Department of Higher Education, while the Portfolio Committee on Higher Education, while we also request SAVAC to look at the issue, or the department to look at the issue of the professionals leaving the country after they have been paid for and they've studied.
Yeah, I think we must also bring in there that it must be in line with the international benchmark for race, in terms of the population size.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Knox?
Okay.
Yes, is there anything? Before we move to the committee recommendations. Okay, so you have nothing now. Then this part we have covered it. It's okay. We just need to follow up. Can we go to the committee recommendations then? Okay. So the committee makes the following recommendations to the minister. We're talking to the Minister of Agriculture now. The minister to ensure that the department provides quarterly updates to Parliament on the fit for purpose structure, including filling of vacancies. Yeah, because the department has already been separated, and we all have observed that the department seemed to be thin on the structure and the people that are supposed to be doing work. And ensure that we strive to the department present progress report towards the achievement of the National Development Plan and Medium-Term Development Plan deliverables that are specific to the Department of Agriculture during each quarterly report briefing in Parliament. Okay. Continue. Here, to ensure that the department develops specific measurable targets for inclusion in the APP under each specific program, to monitor the utilization of conditional grants. Yeah, this is very, very important. The monitoring of these grants is very important. I think we must sit on the department until it finds a way of showing how they are monitoring. Okay, let's continue on the issues around the department to ensure that it engages with provinces during its planning process prior to the submission of the strategic and annual plans, to determine annual targets that will be implemented by provinces in the following financial year for the CASP and land care conditional grants. Okay. 5-5. Colleagues would like to come in, or are you fine? Continue, Knox. Let's go to the last one. Ensure that the department develops specific and measurable annual targets on agro-processing interventions for smallholder producers for inclusion in the next APP. Okay. So, recommendations to these entities. On the ARC, ensure that the ARC updates Parliament on a quarterly basis on the establishment of the commercialization entity, including on fundraising initiatives for the foot and mouth disease vaccine facility. Then on OBP, to strengthen oversight over OBP and ensure that the entity updates Parliament on a quarterly basis on vacancies. A vaccine availability, update on installation of the freeze trials, and update on GMP project, including the appointment of the GMP specialist advisor. Here, Honorable Trolip also raised the fact that when we talk about these vaccines, we're not only talking about foot and mouth disease. So any delay affects the farmers in different ways when the animals catch different diseases. So you've added here okay. So the minister must make sure that through his oversight on OBP, and make sure that OBP submit to Parliament the investigative report on the utilization of the 492 million allocation for the upgrading and modernization of the vaccine manufacturing plant. So now that we have gone back to the real price, we may want to go back, Noxie, and deal with the one that we put up there. On top, we said, in the department, we said, I know on the observations there, on OBP, we said approximately 500 million. And we know that it is at this 492. So we have to be consistent. If we don't want to say 492, we have to say approximately 500 million on both. I think we said something like that. Yeah, we said approximately.
That's 492, Chair. So I'll put 492.
Yeah, because I remember that they said it's 492. Yeah, there. Okay. I had forgotten, so I see that you reminded me here. All right, so let's go to NMC. That the minister ensures that the entity updates the committee on a quarterly basis on the implementation of the commercialization strategy and vacancies. Very important. Both the NMC and the ARC, these two entities that they now have. The commercialization and the other one at the ARC. they will have to, update us. Let's go to the PPECB.
Chair, sorry. Yeah, this is where the members can add a recommendation regarding funding, additional funding for the NAMC.
Because we've been asking the DG for that. Honorable members, I think also what Honorable David had said, I don't know whether Honorable Alice, you also mentioned something on top when we were looking at the observations. Nyambose, Honorable Nyambose.
Good morning, Chair. I'm just observing something whilst you are on NAMC and
Yeah.
ARC.
Yes.
The point on commercialization. I remember at OBP as well that they didn't have a vehicle through which they can sell their products. So they were using private companies to distribute their products. So if the same principle can also apply, that if they can also establish an entity so that they don't have to deal with the problems where the procurers of the product of OBP, they double up the price, and you find that at the end of the day, they are making money out of the product because they are not contributing equivalent of what they would be selling the product with. So in the market, you end up having variety of prices that are uncontrollable because people decide how much they want to charge on a product that is supposed to be statutory regulated. So even OPP does need a commercial vehicle or something to distribute their product.
Okay, Honorable Nyambose. Noxy,
Chair?
what would be, out of what Honorable Mtetwa has said, okay, finish the way you were writing and then we'll go to the issue that has been raised by Honorable Mtetwa. I'll give you a second to do that.
Okay, Chair, I'll leave this one at this for now, and then I can rework it properly later. It's mainly to consider for the minister to consider reprioritization of funds from some programs that are not utilizing the funds, because for example, in the last year, they did return some funds to the National Treasury that were not used. I just need to check those programs or activities. I know some were from conditional grants as well. So if those can be reprioritized to assist the NAMC in implementing some of its program.
Okay. Excuse me, go and look at it, because in the last meeting we had proposed to the department that maybe they should take the training part. I don't know whether it was, excuse me, I don't know whether it was the training budget and what else that we had recommended that they transfer to NMC. So go and look at it and bring it back. I think we did talk about it. And so Honorable Mtetwa is proposing that, I remember that he raised it, is proposing that shouldn't we be recommending something like these two entities, that the commercialization part that is at the OBP, no, not OBP, that is at the ARC, that has just been approved by the minister. on both entities on the NAMC and ARC. Yeah, they facilitate discussions with the OBP on the establishment of a commercialization instrument for the distribution of the vaccines. Okay. Its products. Nyambos, are you happy?
Very, very happy, Chair. Very happy.
Okay. Now we
Thanks.
can. Thank you. Finish the Knox and then we can continue and see how far we are. Okay, we still.
We're here.
We're now on no, we're done with the. Oh yeah, it's PPECB. Facilitate engagement between the Department of Agriculture. Oh no, we did this one. On the border management on the PMA. Let's go to SAVC. Okay, facilitate engagements between the Department of Agriculture, the Department of Higher Education and Training, and the University of Pretoria regarding entry requirements to the veterinary program at UP. And yeah, and there's something that I forgot to ask. The clarification of the quota that they say they have, and that is an agreement with the department, if I understood very well. The quota that UP has on the admission of students. Yeah. And the cost thereof. All right, yeah, now you have brought that up. Thanks. This matter of the quotas, maybe we will have to follow it up later on in the next meetings, because I remember they spoke about the fact that the University of Pretoria has a quota of the students that they are supposed to be taking, whether they have an agreement with the department or they have come up with a quota. But I think the question there is the transformative quota there, how transformative it is. If they say they take this particular number, can we break it down? I think that's what is very interesting for me. Honorable Mteto, you want to come back? Or is it the legacy?
Yes, I would like to come back, yes, Chair, on that point of South African Veterinary Council. On that point, I am thinking we are moving from a premise that UP has been solely providing this faculty in terms of learning and teaching, but us as a portfolio, we need to expand what is only done by UP to say, can we mainstream veterinary doctors across institutions of learning? Why? Because if you say UP need to increase a quota, which they are currently doing, it is based on the availability of infrastructure in that institution currently. So they may shoot it down and say we can't increase more than what we have. It would mean that we must wait for them to expand facilities. But instead of not confining it to them, we are moving that this should be mainstreamed across institution, and unless somebody tells us that it cannot be done by all institutions but only one, but we are moving from a premise that all institutions should be capable to render this faculty, and therefore we can tap into the resourcefulness of other institutions, because it looks like it is a closed market kind of a faculty. Can we expand it? Unless there are reasons which can be offered that it cannot be, but they will have a problem to increase the quota if you look at them alone. Let's rather say other institutions as well. By so saying, automatically all those who will fall off from UP will automatically be absorbed in the other institution if they are granted an opportunity to host veterinary doctor faculty. Thank you.
Okay. No, thank you. I think that it's somewhere. I think in the observations, am I right, Noxy? And I raised it that they have indicated that there are other universities that they have now engaged. Last year they told us about the University of the Free State, and I think they have now added the University of the Northwest and one university in the Eastern Cape. I can't remember whether it's Fort Hare or which university they have added in their presentation that they are engaging, and which is why I felt like we need to meet with the portfolio committee on higher education to discuss exactly what you are raising, Honorable Mteto. Noxy? Honorable members, do you want to raise something before I give back to Noxy? Okay, Noxy.
Oh, Chair, on this, I'm partly covered by your comments. Honorable Mteto, what you are raising is already in process. And the matter of opening of veterinary faculties is under the Department of Higher Education and Training. When SAVEC was here, the department, they also indicated interest from other universities to open additional faculties for veterinary studies, because UP can only take, as Mr. Mteto has already mentioned, a certain number based on their facilities. So Free State has been approved by the Department of Higher Education. So the program, according to the DG, will commence next year at the University of Free State. And the Department of Higher Education is considering interest and applications from the University of Fort Hare, UNISA, and I think the University of Northwest, as you have. So the committee can monitor the process as it unfolds, because there are certain requirements that all these universities have to meet to be able to issue the veterinary degree. I'll put it that way. So this one on facilitating engagements between the department is mainly about the entry requirements. If members remember, the SAVEC did indicate that those are the entry requirements are historical, and they haven't taken into account the changes and the fact that we are currently in a democracy. So the department, having the technical expertise on the subject matter, is in a better position, along with the Department of Higher Education and Training, to engage with the University of Pretoria, which is currently the only university that is offering the the qualification.
Chairperson, can I just, sorry man, I did not raise my hand.
Yeah, no, you can come in.
No, Chairperson, you know what I was thinking that we are talking about the entry requirements, to enter these vet studies, but there's no, programs in place, to encourage our students to go and study in that field. And I think it actually needs somehow the Department of Basic Education also need to get involved into that, and to promote, because many of our children don't have, and when we talk about this entry requirements, many of our children is doing this math literacy, and not, and the requirements is maths and science and all of that. So I think in an engagement with the Department of Basic Education, to promote these vet studies, I think it's also important. Thank you, Chair.
Thank you very much, Honorable Aris. Honorable David.
Thank you, Cheche. Well, I agree with everything, and I can recall they said they're also going to speak to the University of Fort A on
Mm.
doing this course. But my issue is, Che, 80%, 80% of the people that we train are leaving. So what I can recall, we asked the department, what is the plan to keep the vets here?
Mm.
So I think maybe in our recommendation, when we must include that they must have a plan how they're going to keep the vets here, because that then we will meet our ratio of like the other countries of maybe 50 for 400 farmers. Thank you, Chair.
Okay, thank you very much. Noxie is adding there. They need to have a strategy to retain the skills in the country now.
Another point, Chair, if you're done.
You can come in.
Yes, on that point, just to adjoin from Honorable David, I remember I asked the question: have we done a study who are the consumers of our vets in the international community? We do a profiling of all of those who are taking our vets, and then come up with a balancing act kind of a thing that whoever that consume our vet by way of attracting them, that we must have I don't know, in local government we have a term called user charge, which means make it not easy for both parties, the vet and the recipient, or the host country, just to take our vet without them reciprocating something. So there must be that we can establish with countries now that we know them, that these are the countries that consume our vet. We then go and sit down with them and establish probably a training cooperation. But in this cooperation, wherein they can now plow back in us being able to train more, so that then the more we train, we have a quota for them that they can take, but there must be a quota that we can retain. But somebody needs to contribute, because we're doing so much to train only to be taken, which means we are losing. But there must be a way of reciprocating with those in an amicable way, which means, yes, you can go abroad. But as you go abroad, we must find a way that you plow back and contribute to a training fund for vets, because we now see that we are training for the world. But now we also need for domestic consumption, so that at least we don't have a problem of losing everything. We have those that we can retain. So balancing the restraining order and reciprocation. Thank you.
Okay, thank you very much, honorable members. I think here, Honorable Mteto, we will have to first stick to the research that we want them to do. Once we have that research that tells us exactly what are the causal effects of the migration, we can then come back and then say, out of what you have found to be the causes for the skill to migrate, what is it that we can do? That's when we bring the strategy. So I think in essence it's covered in there. We just have to unpack it a bit later when we do have the research outcome, if they are going to do it. And
Chairperson,
we have,
I
yes,
think
yes.
I think we also, because the other issue is also, I think we need to engage. I'm not sure if it is Department of Public Service and Administration, because the other thing is why vets is also leaving the country. It's because of the salaries. We need to look into the salaries, because the only reason why many of the people are leaving the country, it is because of salaries. And I think that is also one of the issues that we need to look into.
In the last meeting, Honorable Aris, you remember when we asked about these issues around salaries, whether are they not the cause? I can't remember whether it was TTG Sraf who responded and said, oh, it was the Savak chairperson or the the other official that they brought who actually indicated that they are offered a better salary at the entry level. But we will continue to ask that question. And I think if we get a report that tells us of the research that they would have been done, so that we don't address the salary only, we become we address the entirety of the challenges that may be the causes for these young people to leave the country immediately after they've studied. But Knox, you can advise here also.
I am covered by you, as you have already indicated. Honorable Mtetwa vets, mostly it's a well-known issue. They go to Australia, New Zealand, and the UK, and mostly, and some to the US. So I think the fact that the committee has already recommended the commissioning of a study on the loss, Ms. Aris, that will cover salaries are one of the issues, but as the chair of the SAVEC has indicated, there's also a whole lot of other issues that are at play, including the conditions of work.
Yeah.
So the study would be, if commissioned, would be comprehensive to cover everything that may have been overlooked. I know that the department also mentioned the fact that there was some years back a program called Occupation Specific Dispensation that was for remuneration of public servants according to their qualifications, experience, and nature of work, among other things. So a lot of positions in government were regraded, but vets, for some reason, were not part of that process. hence they still have lower salaries compared to other professions. So the study would look into all of that. And then the recommendation on the development of the strategy, Honorable Mtetwa, to keep vets in the country. The department will also would have looked at everything that would possibly coming from the investigation to ensure that they keep veterinary skills. The DDG did mention, for example, that they do have, knowing that most of our vets go to the UK, they do have engagements with the UK on the matter. For the purposes of this report, Chi, I think the commissioning of the study and the development of the strategy will suffice. And the engagements with other departments or portfolio committees like basic education and higher education and training, those are activities that the committee can initiate anytime and can be put in the minutes so that we have reminders regarding those. Thank you, Chair.
Thank you very much, Noxie. I think we are at the end of the recommendations, because I think we are left with with this one, the last one, which I think we did indicate to them that they have to make sure that the the reviewal of the Veterinary and Paraveterinary Professions Act, it's done within this 7th Parliament, so that, and 7th administration, so that we see where we're going. And we spoke to them and requested them that they bring the bill back. What what the chairperson of SAVAC said was that they are willing to work very hard to bring it back here to us. And I think that we will follow up on them. So the other issues that you are raising, honorable members, I think they are very important. However, because we have already raised them in the discussions with the department, and here we have some of the summaries of the observations and the recommendations. Because this is a report, we will then keep the issues that you are raising in the minutes, and then we'll bring them back as matters arising from the minutes, so that we can remind the department and we can also remind the entities relevant to the issues that we have raised. Yeah, I think we're at the end of the report. Is there anything else, colleagues, that you want to raise before we close and go to the next item?
Yes, Chair.
Please come in.
Yes, there is this part when we were doing the oversight, especially on the FMD, that kept on coming the issue of need for grazing land and quarantining and all of that. That observation actually exposed a fault line within the program of the department, where the issue of land access, seeing that it is now another function of another department, that it is now catching up with us. So I don't know. When I look at the entities that we have, I wonder what can we do to engender relationship? There is an entity that falls under land reform. I don't know, I think it's called Nala or something like that. That entity, it was hosting land within the Department of Rural Development. If it can be engaged instead of creating another entity from this side, which will give us growth in terms of land access so that we don't depend on another department, but that Nala, if it can be shared by us, agriculture and land reform, so that when we have need for land, especially for purposes of diseases like FMD and for purposes of emerging farmers wanting to grow to the medium to even higher farming practice, that we can tap into that resourcefulness. Otherwise, our clients who are in the agricultural space at an emerging level, which means they are saturated in terms of growth because there's no more growth in terms of land access from our side. It is assumed that everyone is covered, whereas the opposite is true. We need our people to grow, but they can't grow because there's no access to land, and it is not our mainline function. So somehow we must rephrase, or we find an entity that can give us access to land for growth purposes. Otherwise, we'll never achieve our target of emerging farmers growing to the level of commercialization. Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Can I just come in? It just crossed my mind now. This thing of excess food. Where are we addressing that, or how are we going to address that? Because specifically with this, with the country, and how many people are food insecure, and we actually must come up with a plan on how we are going to address this food insecurity. Because and also not only that, we as a committee need to left a legacy behind. Whether we will champion the food banks in order for us to rescue food, or we need to come up with a plan, on how we are going to rescue this excess food in order for us to ensure that that food get at least to the tables of our people, and our people get the dignified plate of food. That 20 million people that don't have access to food every day, that they have food. And then I want to agree with Member Matetwa. We need to come up with a strategy on how we are going to get our agriculture land for people to start to sustain themselves. Because if we can come up with a program of where people get food secure, that will also you know take the burden, or lighter the burden, from the Department of Social Development for those people that are relying on that grant, to keep themselves alive. Thank you, Chair.
Thank you very much, honorable members. One, let me start with honorable Mtetwa. Honorable Mtetwa, the issues that you are raising, that relates to the observations that we made at some point when we were at the oversight in the Free State, the issues of land for communal and communage farmers. I think we did raise it in our report, on the oversight report, and we made a recommendation. You remember I said we will make that recommendations that goes to our minister, and then there would be, recommendations that goes to the Minister of Minister Nyonto, the Minister of Land Reform. It will not necessarily come here in this report. Then two, the issue that, and I agree with you, it's very important that we raise that, but it doesn't come to this report. And then the second matter is the one that Honorable Aris raises after agreeing with you, Honorable Tetwa, which we all do. I think that Honorable Aris, I'm trying to think of where we can fit that. Just as we were speaking, you reminded me of the interview, I think it was last week or 2 weeks ago, on television of the economist Sihlobo. He was talking about foot and mouth disease and the challenges that farmers have. And then the journalist asked him about the food security and the food insecurity. And he explained that in terms of the research, the country indeed, we keep on saying it's food secure, which is at the national level, and to an extent that we do export, while we still also have people that do not have food. For an example, the estimation of the people that we made, Honorable Aris. And his response was that in the country, the challenge is not the lack of food, as you know, that as you were raising that maybe the excess food must reach the tables of those who do not have food. The challenge is that the first challenge is that food is very expensive. It's not that there is no food in the country that can feed everyone else who need food. The prices of food are the ones that are a problem. And if we can address that issue of the prices of food, then we will have resolved most of the challenges of the poor people who cannot afford, because then food is so expensive to an extent that when you juxtapose it with the grants that they get, it doesn't make sense of the food, of the amount that they have, and versus the prices of food on the shelves. So that is the first challenge. The second challenge is the one that you just raised, Honorable Aris, is to how do we make sure that the food, the excess food, end up on the tables of the right, or of the needy, of the people that need this food. Although it doesn't come to this report, I think we must also find a way of raising it, because the department must find it concerning that there is food is that expensive. Although my take is that it doesn't involve them only as a Department of Agriculture. I think trade and industry and maybe other departments they need to be involved. So if I were to request that we remember to raise it in the future when we meet with the department, because I think we may want to ask them to come up with a strategy that would help to respond to the issues of food insecurity and the prices of food on the shelves, and the food that is in excess somewhere there, that it's channeled to the right people. So let's discuss it at some point so that we can make it an issue to the department, that the department will have to follow up and come back and report back to us. Because if you remember, when you go back to the report of the Human Rights Council, there's a problem there. Hey, but it will not be able to go into this report. But it's very important, and I want colleagues to help me to remember to bring it back. And Albertina, please help me to flag it somewhere in the minutes so that we can bring it back as in.
Yes. Chair, there's another issue that I also would like to let you know. The
Yeah.
department must come up with a plan so that as the Department of Agriculture, when we look at unemployment in the country
Mm.
and how the department can contribute to lesser the unemployment. I mean, in terms of um, programs to stimulate the economy. So that is also the department. But seriously, Chair, I'm very frustrated because somehow it seems to me that the department lack vision when it comes to to agriculture, and that is quite frustrating because there's so much that we can contribute to the country, but I don't see it happen. We can address unemployment, we can address hunger, but they don't have plans and programs in place, to contribute, to lighten
Mm.
the situation that's currently in the country.
Yeah, I I agree with you. It's very frustrating. That's why I was telling them the other day that sometimes it becomes very emotional for me. I hear where you come from, the point where you're coming from, and the frustration that you have. And the feeling for me also is that over and above what you said, that they don't seem to have a strategy or the vision of where they should be going. I also feel like they seem to lack commitment because we meet with them every week and we raise most of these issues, and they come back the next month, it's still the same. They come back the next 6 months, it's still the same. They come back the next year, it's still the same. So the frustration, I get you know. Um, but it's something that at some point we must raise it very seriously when they come. Um, I think everybody else have noticed some of the weaknesses in the department because now you have people who are also suspended, people who are supposed to be doing work, which is what we were asking the other day when they told us that DDG was suspended. The question I had was, so who does make a presentation on the work that she was supposed to do and on the work that she was supposed to um, present? So it will be highlighted in these minutes, and I think Albertina and Knox, you must remind us when we come to these minutes so that we can lift the matters arising, or you can put them aside as matters arising at the end of the minutes so that we can then go back and discuss them and remember to raise them with the department. Colleagues, I thank you very much. I want us to consider this report if we can adopt it before we go to the next item. I'll see by show of hand if there's one who wants to propose that we adopt the report.
Move for the adoption of the report, Chair.
Who's speaking? Is that Honorable Aris?
Yes, it was her.
Yes, Chair.
Oh, okay. Now there's a hand from Honorable Davids. Thank you very much, Honorable Aris. Honorable Davids.
Thank you, Chair. I support the proposal of the adoption of the report, Chair.
Okay, thank you very much. Colleagues, thank you very much for your time and your engagement here in this report. That's our report now. Albertina, can you bring back? Oh, Knox, I forgot to ask you to comment if you have any comment before we move out. I'm sorry, all those who have now adopted the report.
No, it's fine, Chair. Just to put members at ease on the, and Ms. Aris in particular, on the issue of food security and food banks. A similar recommendation was made in the last report. So that's why, Chair, the last time I made a presentation on committee activities and progress thus far, that the committee will have to schedule the consideration of responses to its report. So when that report, the budget vote report for the last year, gets discussed in the committee, so the responses to those recommendations will be discussed then.
Okay.
The report was sent.
It was.
Yes. So it's just that I don't have the program in front of me, but I know in the next weeks we have scheduled those reports for discussions.
Okay.
So those issues will come up again from the responses. Thank you, Chair.
Thank you very much, Knox. The report has been adopted. Let's go to the next item, which is consideration of minutes. Okay, so we start with the minutes of the 21st of April. I think that's when we were considering the report of the oversight from the Free State, and we got an update on the FMT, and then we dealt with the issues that were outstanding from the committee resolutions and responses. Can you go down, Albertina? Let's see who was there and who was not there, so that when it comes to the adoption of the minutes, we know. Can continue. Okay. Alpi, don't be that too fast. Members, you will stop me when you want to comment somewhere. Continue, Alpi. Okay. Colleagues, there are your minutes. We'll have to adopt them as a true reflection of the issues that we discussed, or the true reflection of the meeting of the 21st of April. Can I hear a voice that would like to propose?
Yes, Chair.
Yes, Honorable Davis.
Thank you, Chair. I move for the adoption of the minutes.
Okay, thank you. There's a mover. Any seconder?
Second, Nandi.
Okay, Honorable Nandi Ndalane is seconding. Thank you. Bettina. Okay. These ones are for the 28th of April, 2026. These are the minutes where we're sitting at the Good Hope Center. We had the briefing. We didn't have the Auditor General Albertina, did we?
Yes, Chair, we didn't have, but you can still see the explanation.
Okay. Continue. Continue. Or you want to remind me of the Auditor General?
Yes, Chair.
Yeah, I'm just not very sure if that
So
is
must I go down?
Yeah, I don't think that would be the proper heading on top there, because you were indicating people who the presentations that we got. So if you include the Auditor General there, and then say that it covers what I have said here as the chair, that because they had written to me and indicated that they were done with the department's APPs and they've corrected everything. I think there must be a better way of bringing it in instead of listing it up there. Just go back there on top, Albertina, and you'll see what the impression it gives when you list it there is that they were there.
The thing is, Chair, it was part of the agenda items, and it was part of the approved agenda items for the day.
I understand that. I'm saying that there must be a better way of putting it. Colleagues, I don't know whether you understand me. Because where it is, where it stands, and the way it's put, it almost gives an idea that you see, it says one briefing on the 2026-27 annual performance plans and budget allocation. Then you bring in the Auditor General of South Africa, and then the department and the OPP. But when you go down to the minutes, there is no way that that AXA had made a presentation. But if you are saying that you want to raise it there because if it's standard, because it may be that it's standard that once you have raised items that were going to be part of the meeting, you have to put it there. If that's how you are explaining it as you explained, then I'm fine. But I'm just worried for anybody who just looks at it and then they look at the items underneath there and they only find the department APPs and the OPP only. But we can continue if that's your explanation. Oh, Honorable David, do you want to say something?
Yes, Chair, I think if it can be cleared in the apologies because they were not there, they were not present to do the briefing, to do the presentation. So if it can be put where apologies is that they were not present and given a reason or in our minutes, it will be satisfied. Chair. I agree with you. It seems now like if they were part of the briefings that we received.
Yeah, thanks. Honorable David, Albertina, did you hear that?
Yes, Chair, I think from my side, Chair, there is an explanation there that the the reason why the AG didn't present on that day, as AG was part of the presentation of part of the agenda items for the day for that day. So this is the explanation of why did the AG did not present on the day.
Yeah, but there's no way
I'm not
we
sure whether I should take it out or. But
what
according to the approved program that we have, as per approved by the House Chair, some of the areas when you Z list, you put it on Z list, and or House Chair finds out that some of the agenda item is not there, so they normally inquire why the agenda item is not the same as in the approved program of the committee. That's the reason, Chair. I don't know. Maybe you want us to take it out, or we leave it like that, or I don't know, Chair. Can guide me.
you know I don't disagree with you that there is an explanation. It doesn't make sense for me to have that item there when the Auditor General did not come. So if anyone or the House Chair is asking, we will indicate that they did not come because they have sent a letter that explained why they were not coming. There's nothing wrong there. But on a document that is going to be archived, you can't have an item there and then when you go down you don't find any presentation, because here you are saying briefing on the annual plan. You start with them. I don't disagree with you that that was the agenda is how it was structured, or the proposed items. This is how they were structured. The only thing that I'm saying is that because they did not come, and we know why they did not come, so I think you must take it out there, and then somewhere after I have said something, or just before the presentation by the department, you can then say that the Auditor General was supposed to come to cover you on what you are saying, because I hear that you want to be covered. Just before the presentation here, you are talking about you see here, now you come down, you see you brought that matter on top, and then you come here, it's no longer there, it's now the department and OBP. I suggest you take it out there. Whoever would like to know why it was no longer there, they will get that explanation from that explanation I made in my opening remarks. Yeah, thanks. Then we can continue. Yeah, we saw there. Members have seen who was there and who had apologized, so you can go down. Members, you will help me. If you want to speak, please just call me or raise your hand. Okay. I go down. Okay, thank you very much. Colleagues, there is the end of your minutes of the meeting of the 28th of April, am I right? May I hear the proposal for the adoption if this indeed is the true reflection of the meeting? Honorable David.
Thank you, Chair. I move for the adoption of the minutes as is, Chair.
There's a mover, any seconder? Honorable members, are you still here?
I move for I second them.
Honorable Tebekulu.
Was absent.
Come again, you were absent. Oh.
I'm saying I was absent on this meeting. That's why I'm not.
Okay. Honorable Mnitama, were you absent or were you there? He wasn't there.
I
Okay.
second.
Honorable Nandindalan, yes, you did second. I just want to hear if members are here.
They are, yes, Chair.
No, I know you. I know you're here because I heard you earlier on. Don't worry. I'm just, teasing on Honorable Mutam. Okay,
It's not necessary, Chair. I'm here.
you are here. Thank you so much. I just want to hear your voice. I don't want
Is the deputy chair in the meeting, Chair?
Come again.
Is the deputy chair in the
I'm
meeting?
here. I'm here. Coach is here.
No,
Don't
the
worry.
deputy is here. I saw him. Okay. So, Albertina, this is the minutes for which meeting?
For the 30th, Chair, I don't know what's going on here now.
I saw that it's the third set, but it doesn't open.
Doesn't want to open now. Let me.
It wants us to talk about SAVAK, and I don't want to talk about SAVAK because I don't want Mteto to come back to the issue of SAVAK.
This one doesn't want to.
On a lighter note.
But I'm going to alternative cancer. How true am I?
You would want to engage in issues about Togotel.
Can you see it now, Chair?
No, it's not there. No way. Now it's blank. The screen is blank.
Oh. What's going on now here? I highlight and share.
Yeah, go up. Let me see. I just want to see the date.
Is it okay now?
Now, yeah, it's okay now. So these colleagues are the minutes of the 30th of April. We were at committee room M314. In the committee room where we could not see one another properly because others were hidden by pillars. All right, you can go down. This is the meeting where members decided they will not come, all of them. Go back, Albertina. Let me see the attendant. Yeah. Okay. Let's continue. These colleagues, those who were here, Honorable Tetwa, Honorable Trolley, Honorable Davids, and I'm still trying to see. I can remember Honorable Tetwa. Did I mention you? And Honorable Smith. Yeah, you remember? You still the meeting is still fresh because I think that's the last meeting we had.
No, Chair.
It's
The last
not
one is on the 5th, yes.
okay. You're so fast, Albi.
Oh, sorry.
We are Baleka. Okay, go up. Mm-hmm. Okay, continue. Why does Firefly want to stop recording, Slindo? Okay, colleagues, there we are. This is the third set of the minutes of the meeting of the 30th of April. Honorable Davids.
For the adoption, Chair.
Second there.
Okay, Honorable Davids moves, Honorable Smith seconds. Thank you very much, colleagues. Let's go to, is that the last, the fifth one, the 5th of May?
Yes, Chair, the last one is the 5th of May.
Okay.
Is it okay now? Can you see?
Yeah, it's okay. Just go to the beginning of the meeting. So that you see the attendance register. Okay. You can scroll down. Go ahead, go down. Okay. Yes. We are at the end of the minutes. Colleagues. May I hear your voices?
Yes, Chair, we are here.
Okay, I want us to adopt the minutes as a true reflection of the meeting uco-chair bekhona. Okay, any mover?
I move for adoption for the minute.
Okay. Honorable.
I second, Chair. I second, Honorable
Thank you
David.
very much. Honorable Ndalane and moves and Honorable David seconds. Thank you very much. I want to believe these were the last minutes, Albi.
Yes, Chair. These are the last minutes, sets of minutes.
Okay. No, thank you
Chair,
very much. Yes, come in, Albertina.
Yes, Chair. I just want to say something, Chair. If you look at this one, there is an apology from UMP Nana. UMP Nana has been appointed as the alternate member of the committee, Chair. Maybe members they are confused of that, but he has been appointed as the alternate member of the committee, Chair.
Okay, no, that's fine.
Okay, thanks, Chair.
All right.
And another thing, Chair, let me update you and members that according to the program, parliamentary program now, there has been some changes. So that week, Chair, we remember there was a week that the committee proposed to have an oversight to the Western Cape. That week now is scheduled is a constituency week now. It's no longer a oversight week.
Committee week.
Yes, Chair. Thank you.
All right. No, it's fine. We'll reschedule and look at the oversight week when it comes. All right. Thank you very much. Albi, you can remove your minutes. Honorable members, thank you very much for joining us in the meeting and for your inputs and participation. You now have the report. Albertina, maybe you want to remind us again, if it has not changed, that we're meeting on Friday at the budget vote 29. Is it on Friday or Thursday? It's Friday. Albertina? Albertina? Albertina, we
Hello, Chair.
Yes. Happy. I'm saying, remind members, are we still sitting on budget vote 29 on Friday for debate?
Yes, sir. There's
On
no
Friday the
date.
15th.
Yes, from 10 o'clock until 12:15 on Friday the 15th, M46.
Or M46.
Yes.
Oh, thank you very much. Colleagues, you heard
Sorry,
that.
what time are we?
10 o'clock until 12:15. From 10 until 12:15. Did you hear that, Coach?
Yes, Albi.
Hey. Thank you very much, colleagues. Have a lovely afternoon. Today, you were able to finish earlier. You'll get some time to join to be able to join the mini plenaries. I think the next mini plenary would come at 12 or 12:15, somewhere there, to support other committees so that they can come and support us on Friday also. Thank you very much, colleagues. Have a lovely afternoon. We'll see each other on Friday.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you. Thank you very much. Bye.